Disability Representation in the Media by Madeline, Jess, Cassidy, Morgan, Jacqueline, and Shane.
So what is the issue of disability representation in the media and its connection to ableism? Disability discrimination is when one person is treated poorly or put at a disadvantage for a reason that relates directly to their disability. Disability in the media is a critique of the stigmatizing representations of disabilities in the media and how they affect the lives of people whose conditions are characterized. Disability representation in the media is intimately connected with ableism, and it is crucial to address this issue to promote a more inclusive and equitable society for people with disabilities. Some examples demonstrating this issue could include refusing to hire a job applicant based on their disability, firing or demoting an employee because of their disability, failing to give disabled employees the same opportunities, or harassing an employee based on their disability. A real-life example of this is the movie Music, created by Sia. In this movie, their main character is a girl with autism. However, the actor is Maddie Ziegler, a girl who does not have autism. A lot of people in the autistic community were very upset by this because it did not accurately represent someone with autism. Sophie Buck, an author, wrote about how upsetting it was to see this inaccurate representation. However, there are positive examples of disability in the media, and this includes Amira, who is a new character on Sesame Street. The authors discussed how they worked very hard to be as accurate as possible when writing her and her disability, as well as little details, including the shape and size of her wheelchair.
Why is the issue important? Disability representation in the media is very important. Some statistics that we found include 26% of adult population lives with a disability, and 1 billion people worldwide are members of the disability community. 46% of people with disabilities feel they are unrepresented on TV. Why is disability representation in the media important? 1, there needs to be increased visibility and awareness for people with disabilities. 2, representation can help educate the public about disability. And 3, someone with a disability may feel empowered after seeing their disability represented in the media. After reading these statistics, they prove that so many people are members of the disability community, and so many of these people feel that they are underrepresented on TV, which is not okay. What has been done and what will be done? The Disability Discrimination Act aims to protect people with disabilities from discrimination in various areas of life, including employment, education, transportation, and access to goods and services. It highlights that people with disabilities should have the same opportunities and rights as everyone else and seek to eliminate barriers that may prevent their full participation in society. Equal employment in films. Equal employment in films refers to promoting equal opportunities and fair representation for people of diverse backgrounds in the film industry, particularly in employment and casting process. Employment rights as an individual with a disability. The Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA, provides protection against job discrimination for individuals with disabilities who are qualified for a position. Some more key points about the Disability Discrimination Act include prohibited direct discrimination, prohibited of indirect discrimination. Employers are required to make reasonable adjustments, protect against victimization, requires buildings, transportation, websites, etc., to be accessible to everyone. Equal employment in film. The goal of equal employment in films is to challenge systematic barriers and biases that may limit opportunities for marginalized and underrepresented groups. Employment rights. Some examples or key points include non-discrimination. Employers are prohibited from treating individuals less favorably due to their disabilities. 2, employers are required to provide reasonable accommodations to enable individuals with disabilities to perform their job effectively. Number 3, people with disabilities are entitled to equal pay and benefits for equal work compared to their non-disabled coworkers. Number 4, employers must respect the privacy and confidentiality of an employee's medical information related to their disability. Number 5, employers should create an accessible workplace environment. And number 6, individuals with disabilities have the right to a fair and accessible application and interview process.
Unfortunately, there are barriers that influence ableism and poor media representation for the disabled community. One big barrier is a lack of education. Society is extremely unaware of how those with disabilities actually act and what their capabilities are due to little education and a lack of an accurate portrayal. Media portrayal of disabilities often focus on bizarre symptoms and depict disabled people as dangerous and menacing. This can be very harmful and lead to different social bias, which is our next barrier. People with disabilities are often disregarded because they are not perfect. Places of work will turn those away with disabilities and fear they may need extra breaks, other accommodations, or overall believe they cannot do the job well. This leads to struggles with representation in the media as ableism from media companies restricts opportunities for disabled people to work. Therefore, they cannot accurately depict disabilities. It's kind of a bad cycle that leads from not hiring disabled people and therefore not being able to accurately portray them. Thankfully, there is some support influencing media representation. First is social justice. This includes the equal opportunity to work on film specifically, whether acting or in the writing room, so there can be an accurate portrayal of disabilities in the media, like we see with Amira in Sesame Street. Additionally, the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, or CRPD, changes the attitudes and approaches to persons with disabilities and promotes equal enjoyment of human rights and fundamental freedoms, specifically relating to media. These provide the equality of opportunity, which specifically means working in the media, non-discrimination, which involves them getting hired despite their disability, and educating society leading to less discrimination, full and effective participation and inclusion in society, meaning they can participate the same as others around them, and respect for difference and acceptance of persons with disabilities as part of human diversity and humanity, which leads to education and awareness. Overall, it's important to incorporate disabled people into the media for accurate representation and education of the public to avoid stereotypes of disabilities, since every disabled person is different.
How voices of disabled people should be centered in the media industry. Putting disabled people at the front line, cast disabled people as characters who have disabilities, verify with disabled people that the depiction of a character is accurate. Voices of disabled people can be centered around our issues by putting them at the forefront of certain characters. For instance, if a character in a movie, TV show, or play is supposed to have a disability, then someone with said disability should be cast, not an able-bodied person. Besides having disabled people have other jobs in the media industry, such as writing or directing, another way voices of disabled people could be centered is by having them check in during the writing process. For example, if a non-disabled person is writing for a disabled character, they should have a real person with the disability verify that the depiction of the character is accurate and not stereotypical.